The age of myth was drawing to a close, but the embers of defiance still glowed. Hercules, the son of Zeus, his heart heavy with the 12 labors and the ceaseless meddling of the gods, had reached his limit. Betrayed and manipulated, he resolved to confront his divine kin not as a supplicant, but as a conqueror. He sought allies not on the sun-drenched isles of men, but in the shadowed forests of Pelion, home to the proud and wild centaurs. Led by the wise and ancient Chiron, the centaurs had long mistrusted the gods. Hercules, standing before their council, spoke not of glory but of freedom. He offered them a pact, a chance to shatter the chains of divine whim and carve their own destiny. The centaurs, seeing in his eyes not the arrogance of a god, but the solidarity of a fellow outcast, stamped their hooves in unison, a thunderous accord. An army unlike any the world had ever seen was born. At its head, Hercules, clad in the neon lion skin, his legendary club resting on his shoulder. Behind him, a thunderous sea of hooves and hardened warriors, their banners depicting a broken chain against a mountain peak. They marched from the deep woods, their destination the impossible peak, the home of the gods themselves, Mount Olympus. Their journey was a saga of its own. The gods, enraged by this audacity, did not sit idle. They unleashed mythical beasts to halt the advance. A monstrous hydra rose from a swamp, its head spitting venom. But Hercules, with his centaur archers providing a rain of covering fire, smashed each head in a brutal display of strength. They navigated the labyrinthine canyons where harpies descended like a plague, only to be met by a wall of centaur spears. Finally, after trials that would have broken any mortal army, they stood before the celestial gates of Olympus. The golden doors shimmered with divine power, a barrier no mortal had ever passed in force. The air crackled with ozone and the unspoken fury of the pantheon within. "Father," Hercules' voice boomed, a sound that shook the very foundations of the mountain. "I have come not as your son, but as a king leading a free people. Open these gates, or we shall tear them from their hinges." For a moment there was only silence. Then, with a groan that echoed through the heavens, the gates of Olympus swung open. Not to an army, but to a single figure standing in the blinding light, Zeus, king of the gods, his face a mask of thunderous fury, his hand crackling with lightning. The final confrontation was at hand. The demigod and his army of centaurs against the might of the heavens.